welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well today, and surprise, today's video is so exciting because it's one I've been wanting to do for the longest time. I am finally making covers for my digital journals. So I'm starting off with the first one I made. You might remember, but like probably, I don't know, 2 months ago or something, when I was flipping through my archive journal at one point in a video, I was like, don't look at that spread. We'll talk about that some other time. Now's the other time. I had decided I wanted to make kind of like almost like a junk journal sort of spread. But when I was making it, I was like, you know what? This would kind of be really pretty as a cover. I see a lot of like muji notebooks, but just honestly kind of any journal. I see a lot that just have a bunch of stickers on the front cover. I love the look of journals just covered with all different sorts of stickers. I think it looks so cute. So that's how the idea was born. Also, I'm going to be sharing a template. I'll talk about this more at the end of the video, but it took me forever, like truly forever, to figure out the dimensions for the journal covers, specifically on the paper app, which is what I use, of course. I don't know why, it just seemed like every time I tried a new size, like it just was not working. So anyway, I will be sharing a template because I know that some of you, of course, use the paper app too. And I went through all the trials and tribulations of trying to find like the perfect size. So I'll be sharing it with you because why would I not? I guess as I'm making these, I don't need to talk about anything in particular because there's kind of no rhyme or reason to how I put these together other than I found a bunch of stuff that I liked and I put it all together, truly. I will say for this first one, I used, as you can see, that little muji sticker. I just found that on Pinterest. Honestly, kind of like combing through my Pinterest boards to find stuff that I thought would look cute, like in a journal cover, has been really fun too. My favorite thing in this spread has got to be that Hello Kitty, I don't know, it looks like you know, the little paper you get when you open up like a capsule toy or something. I would actually love to know what that is because I want one. I can't tell if it's like a blind box thing and it's bigger or if it's just something small, you know, like a keychain sort of thing, but I would love one. I also like the yogurt coon. I don't know if it's I don't know what that is actually. I can't tell. Is it like a postcard? I don't know what it was. Obviously, I mean, someone scanned it, but I'm not sure what that is. I see some yogurt coon stuff on Pinterest from time to time, and he is such a precious little character. I actually don't even like yogurt. I'm trying to force myself to like yogurt. I feel like I like froyo, but that might be because it has like M&Ms on top of it. You know, like I'm going through and putting like M&Ms, brownie pieces, like, right? I was thinking about making some yogurt bark, but I don't know what I want to put on top of it. I feel like the combinations are endless. My mom loves yogurt, and I watch her with envy because I want to enjoy yogurt too. She looks like she's having so much fun eating all these different sorts of yogurts. Like she tries like all the new ones that come out. Like Chobani is always coming out with something new. I also really like the Hello Kitty recycling sticker up there with cinnamon roll and karopi. Unfortunately, recycling doesn't always work the way that it should. Oftentimes it just like is not happening, especially with plastic. Most plastic that we put in our recycling, it does not actually get recycled. So that's really frustrating, but as someone who cares a lot about the environment, I wanted to include it anyway. See, this cover is already done and I haven't even been talking that long. There's really not much for me to say other than all I'm doing in my process is just trying to layer everything in a way that I think looks nice, looks aesthetically pleasing. The next cover is probably one of my favorites. I think it's the color of it. I feel like the first spread I made, I do enjoy the brown and that's like very classic muji. But I feel like the white kind of lets everything else that I'm putting on top shine, I guess, if that makes sense. So the first thing that I'm using is, I think it's a sticker sheet that I saw from a Cute Attack on Twitter. I will probably not save this on Pinterest. I'll just leave the link to the tweet below. I love their art so much. There are also a couple of other things in this cover that I will probably not be pinning to Pinterest just because I really believe in not pinning artist art to Pinterest if they don't want it to be there. I have no way of knowing whether or not they're okay with it being there. Also, speaking of linking tweets, is anyone else annoyed that like every social media nowadays, you can't like scroll infinitely? They want you to sign up for an account. That really is annoying to me. I mean, I get it, but also I just think it's annoying. And honestly, I feel like with something like Twitter, there's so much news, so much important news happening that might not be reported by like mainstream outlets or anything like that. And being able to just click on anyone's profile at any point in time and see all their tweets, like, I feel like that's important. Even though I feel like I have an account for most social media sites, or at least the ones I want to have an account for, I still think it's weird. So that's my rant for the day. Oh, also, I wanted to say I love these mini super sticker club stickers. I always get confused every time I say that. It doesn't sound right, and it also feels like I'm saying 500 words at once. But these frogs, I think they're so fun. I used to be friends with someone who said everything was fun. Like it could be anything. It's like, yeah, I got my math homework done. She'd be like, that's so fun. She was also secretly a Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson shipper, and I had no idea. You would think that there would be signs, but I didn't see them. Anyway, this button I'm using now is another thing I saw on Twitter that I won't be pinning. I actually can't even remember what this artist is called, but I found a photo of some buttons that I'm assuming they sell. Maybe they just made them for like themselves. But I just removed the background from it and I thought they turned out really cute, and there are a few different ones. So I'll definitely link that tweet. The last thing that I'm using that I found on Twitter, it's a sticker sheet that's kind of themed around journaling, and I just think it's really cute. So I'll have the link for that tweet below as well. I love the colors in this spread. I think it turned out really, not spread, this is a journal cover. I think it turned out really well. And honestly, this one might be my favorite. We'll see. Maybe I'll pick a favorite at the end of the video. The next cover I made is really in competition with the last one for being my favorite. I'm starting out with this photo I found on Pinterest, and I'm assuming this is from that Sanrio, I don't want to call it an amusement park, but you know that place in Japan? It's a photo of Mimi and Marron Cream standing there so cutely together. I really cannot explain how cute I think this photo is. Actually, I'm kind of scared of people who are dressed up in mascot costumes like that. So I feel like in real life, I might be a little bit scared if I saw Mimi and Marron Cream. But thank God someone was brave enough to get close enough to them to take this photo. So I just put it in a little Polaroid frame, and then from there I just started building around it. I really kind of just like dug through my Pinterest boards and found so many things that I've been wanting to use in spreads in general. The main thing I wanted to use for this spread is that artwork of Fifi reading. I thought that would be such a subtle way of showing like, this is my reading journal. As I was making the other covers, I didn't really have any idea for like which journal they should go on. I kind of just made them to look, I guess, good together, like next to each other, but I didn't really care like which cover goes on which journal. Also, I made a list of things to talk about specifically for this video because I thought that it might be a little bit different than my journal videos, but now I don't know what I did with the list. I guess I deleted it. I don't know what happened to it. But I do remember the first thing that was on the list was the Sanrio character ranking because I think the voting ended. I don't remember, so I'm about to look it up right now so we can see, number one, if it's over, and number two, who won? Like, who's at the top of the charts? Never mind, I lied. The results are not out yet. They're out on June 16th, Sunday, June 16th. So I think they have some interim results that came out, but we don't know the final results yet. So let's see the interim results. Sorry I'm doing this in like real time and you also cannot see what I'm looking at because you're watching the video, but I'm looking. Oh wait, how do I read this? So number one is Cinema Roll, and then it says number two is Pochacco, but then it says number 4 next to Pochacco. So what does that mean? I don't know. There's like 20 different characters and then they have different rankings next to them. So did they just take like 20 of their most famous characters? And I don't know. So anyway, we will not be discussing the Sanrio character ranking because the results are not out yet, but I will be discussing it when the results are out. I'm really passionate about doing your civic duty and voting in the Sanrio character ranking. Actually, that reminds me, I was reading a BL and I think it was just fan translated, but it's not. I think there were only like 2 or 3 chapters, but the premise of it is that the main character is a twin. He has a twin sister, and his twin sister tells him that she likes one of his classmates. So she was like, can you confess to him but dressed up as me because I'm too scared to do it? And his classmate accepts his confession and he's like, wait, what? Because he's wondering, why would his classmate want to date someone who looks exactly like him? And one of the little dates they go on is to like a Sanrio store, and like after they're done in the store, his boyfriend, I guess if that's what you want to call him, because he's dressed up as his twin sister. So his fake boyfriend is like, I'll vote for your favorite character in the next poll ranking. That is peak romance to me. What do you mean you're gonna vote for my favorite character? Stop. I can't remember what that series is called, but I'll put it on the screen and I'll also put it in the description box because it's really good. But like I said, it's only like 2 chapters right now or something like that, and it's being fan translated. But I just thought that scene was too cute. Oh, I also wanted to mention that the Hello Kitty art that says 1997, I think that's part of the Hello Kitty 50th anniversary celebration, because I was watching more than one vlog and there's an exhibition right now, or there was an exhibition, it might not still be going, in South Korea, in Seoul, and these girls that went in there, they like went to this wall. It was like a gallery wall. It was painted pink and there were a bunch of pink frames on it. And in each one of those frames was the different artwork from all the different years of Hello Kitty. And I realized, I was like, oh wait, like I've seen all of these on Pinterest. I didn't know what they were for, but I'm guessing that's why they were released. So I thought that was really cool. And that's pretty much this cover done. So this is the last cover I'll be making in this video, but technically I have one journal left. I have my trash journal, I guess you could call it, the journal where I put things where I might not want to delete the spreads, but I don't want them in my regular journals. And I decided to make this one navy blue. I'm not sure if Muji has a navy blue notebook like this, but I feel like it would fit in with their style if they did. There's really not a lot going on in this one. The main thing I used was this Tamagotchi Sanrio. I think it's a sticker sheet. I feel like that's kind of realistic though, that maybe some of your journals might have more stickers on them than others. I really do want to make a cover for that last journal that I have left, but every time I tried to start making it, I just felt like I was so stuck, like just nothing quite looked right to me. I kind of wanted to add like a photo card on the front, because I'm sure you've seen those journals, or honestly sometimes people get like individual pocket sleeves that have like a little adhesive on the back and they stick them on the front and they just have a little pocket then for a photo card. So I really like the idea of doing that. I thought that would be kind of nice to have a journal that had a photo card on the front, but I don't know, I just feel like I couldn't find the right combination of decor, I guess. But I guess at some point in the future, I will return to that one because I don't want to leave it blank forever, and I'll add something. I might even add like a temporary one just to see like how it will look next to all the other ones, but yeah. Also, now I'm just thinking about how I've actually been in a lot of weird and kind of toxic friendships. And I feel like when people say that, it's like, if you've been in that many toxic friendships, maybe you're the problem. But seriously, I've had a lot of really interesting friends. Like that friend used to always tell me like, oh, I can't wait until you get a boyfriend and then we can go visit Tennessee together. And I was like, boyfriend? Tennessee? And then the whole time she was on Twitter being a Larry, like what? And actually her boyfriend that she had at the time, he threatened me and she didn't say anything about it. And I was like, oh, like that's it. Like that's kind of the final straw. And also the way he threatened me was like incredibly weird. He used to always write notes to her, like whenever he would come over to hang out with her. And one day I was hanging out with her and of course she invited him over too for no reason. And when he was about to leave that day, she like went up to her room and he was up there too. And I was up there too. Like we were all in her room. And she's like, aw, he left you a letter too. And I was like, oh. So she's like reading her like love note from him, whatever it said. And then I opened my, it wasn't a love note, it was just a note. And I opened my note and it's like, you better not ever hurt her, because if you do, I will find a bug, hunt you down, and make sure you get it. Granted, this was pre-pandemic times. Nowadays, as we are in an ongoing pandemic, that would actually be like a real threat. But it was just so weird at the time. I was like, what? And so I like showed her and she was like, oh, I don't know, or something like that. And I was like, he told me in the weirdest way possible that he basically hopes I get hurt, sick, if I ever didn't want to be her friend anymore, which was weird because I'd known her for a lot longer than he'd known her. And like, what? And also, that's not even mentioning the fact that he was a year older than us. So he was already an adult at this point. Like he was a grown man, like he was 18 or 19 years old, threatening a teenage girl. And so whenever my friend like wasn't at school after that happened, I brought that note to school. I showed everyone. I said, am I crazy? Is this not the weirdest thing you've ever seen? I honestly just kind of remembered about that whole situation recently because when I was decluttering my room, I found the note. I kept it for evidence, I guess. Anyway, this video was a little different because I was making journal covers instead of spreads, but I hope you liked it. So now it's time for me to talk about the template that I made. I will have a link for it in the description. It's just a Canva template. I made kind of like a little frame, and all you have to do is just make sure that everything stays within the boundaries of that frame. And then when you're done decorating, all you have to do is just delete the lines. And then you can also change the background color if you want to. Of course, I made it brown because I kind of felt like that was the perfect Muji brown color, but please, of course, feel free to change it to whatever color you want your journal covers to be. And now let me show you putting these covers onto your journals in the paper app. So first of all, go through your options of the journal covers. The reason why you want to do this is because you want to pick out whichever color of cover has the band color you like. The reason for this is because you can't change the band color separately unless you have a paid account, and I do not, and I'm assuming a lot of you watching do not. So then once you've done that, just click on the little journal that says custom, and then you can upload your image of your journal cover. And then you're kind of going to want to just like shift it to the right a little bit. It'll kind of like snap into place. And that's why I made the template the way I made it, because having that extra blank space to the left of your image makes it snap into place perfectly, or in my opinion, perfectly. And you might want to zoom in a little bit, like pinch it a little bit, just depending on how your cover looks. That'll depend on how full it was and how you placed all of your decor, and also how, like, do you want the decor to be closer to the band, or do you want it to be more kind of like just in the center of the notebook? That'll be up to you. Yeah, so I'm just adding all of my new notebook covers, and I think they look so nice together. I think they look really cohesive. I think the colors look nice. I really like them. And like I said, I'm definitely going to have to finish the 5th one. It looks a little bare and lonely by itself. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it was helpful, even if you don't digital journal, or even if you can't use the paper app because it's only available for iOS, unfortunately. I still hope that you found some inspiration in this. I tried my best to explain, but please, please, please let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them as always. My next video will be my Q&A journal with me video, where I have your other surprise, which is a little bit more exciting than this video, I think. So please look forward to that. Thank you so much for all of your support. It really means a lot to me. You can find everything that I used in this video in my Pinterest board, of course. The link will be in the description, along with my other social media if you are interested in that. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.